What you got for us today, boy?
Well, we've been shitting a lot.
I've been shitting a lot.
Always.
Oh, I eat chili, oh brother, I can't stop myself in the morning.
So I want to talk about something about, this is film related, it's also literary related. And this is about writing at its finest.
Writing at its finest.
A true masterclass in how you do character development, you do plot twists, you do setups.
I think I know where you're going with this.
And this is to pay homage to the god of storytelling, Masashi Kishimoto.
Masashi Kishimoto!
Creator of the Naruto Shippuden, and Naruto Next Generation's Boruto series.
Well,
we're not going to go into episodes, it's way too big to talk about.
But we're going to talk generally about why is Naruto such an important, literary and cultural influence.
Think about it this way, yeah? Bear in mind, this is a story. It's got films, it's got TV shows, anime that you want to
video games,
manga, everything, right? And it's in Japanese. So a Western audience then has to translate this. It has one more bridge to cross, a language barrier, right? And even then, with this language barrier, the writing is so engaging and so relatable and so phenomenal that it has captured, an international fan base more than...
It transcends language. Like, it's got one of the most international fan bases that I know. Like, it's crazy to see these...
The musical equivalent is like how Rammstein, a band who only does songs in German, is able to sell out Madison Square Garden.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And that's what Kishimoto's done. And dare I say, to an even bigger scale than Rammstein.
Well, and I think, if we want to break down one of the things, let's break down several elements, right? I think off the top of my head, one huge thing for me with, I've been kind of rewatching the episodes, more like finishing the episodes I didn't watch. And one really important thing I find with the way Kishimoto designs his characters is his take on morality, for one. He does not take a very Western fairy tale, good versus evil approach to morality. There's a very
complex character.
Very complex, very intelligent, sort of, shaped by your surroundings kind of approach, where any kind of character that's deemed bad or villainous and antagonist, they are completely shaped by their environment. Nobody is the way they are, without justification.
It takes time to develop the characters. So like, no matter how heinous their crimes are, he almost, is an apologist for them in a way, where he shows these flashbacks that let you understand how they got to that point. And as a viewer, you watch it and you go, you know what, that's completely reasonable. To an extent.
To an extent, yeah.
You might have taken it a bit far.
I think
you go like, I'm not saying it's alright, but I understand.
It's more of, he humanizes, right? Because it's so easy to paint, villains as just evil. But he really breaks it down, and even people who are good, he's shown that the people who are good are not perfect. They have made mistakes, they are not without fault, and they learn. And it is through their experiences that even, showing their history and how if you go down a certain path, if they went down a certain path, they could have ended up like the bad guys. And the bad guys, if they had a slightly different path, could have ended up like the good guys. And I think that's a really mature way to approach writing characters and their histories, their motivations.
And also, unlike Marvel and Kishimoto, people talk nonsense about Marvel, like, oh, it's so impressive, 20 movies. Like, motherfucker, Kishimoto's been doing this for decades, alright? And the difference between Kishimoto and all that, from the time he started, he didn't know that, Naruto was going to be the phenomenon that it is. But he had an end in sight.
He had a plan.
Exactly how he was going to get there. But, it's not like he was, as it got better, he started adding shit and then tried to tie things together.
Well, there was no following, sort of just like, doing stuff that's popular for the fans.
Well, and in the new Boruto series, the very first episode starts at the end.
Well, it starts at a really far point in time in the future, so it's kind of quite explicit there, this intentionality behind what they're writing, that they know already where they want to take the characters.
I also applaud him for having he's got the cojones, yeah?
To actually kill characters, and keep them dead. which is something that, even when we look at Marvel Comics and DC Comics historically, there's a huge thing about killing characters when they lost popularity, but eventually reviving them in the end.
If you watch Infinity War and they go like, oh, no, Spider-Man's coming back. Like, mate,
Of course he's coming back. You know, nobody died.
But Naruto, you're always terrified, like, holy shit, he could kill anyone.
You know, the only movie
And not like, I gotta jump in. Not
Okay,
like fucking, what's that stupid, show full of killing and titties?
Killing and titties? What?
Yeah, killing
What
titties.
is this show? I want to watch this show. Killing and titties.
You know it. The
Killing-
fire and ice titties and...
Fire and ice titties.
Or Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, fire and ice titties. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Game of Thrones does it in a real gimmicky way.
Okay, no. You do alright. No. Hold on. Don't bring up Game of Thrones. You haven't seen Game of Thrones. That's a completely different. It's a completely different
I know,
thing.
but it's not
No,
the
no.
way Kishimoto
Okay,
does.
no. But you can't bring up Game of Thrones. That's a completely different. You haven't seen that one, right?
I've seen enough.
Rescind the Game of Thrones thing, alright? As somebody who's actually watched the series, that's a whole other discussion to make. But no, here's something I want to say, right? If we want to tie back to this whole thing of like, you know, and I can already hear it. Anyone who's thinking like, yeah, no, but Naruto, they've got like hundreds and hundreds of episodes to be able to establish this. You know, Avengers, they only had several movies, right? Here's the thing, all right? I came across an episode very recently, and here's the setup for the episode. They have two characters in it you virtually do not know. You know very, very, very little about, and within the 120-minute episode, they were able to introduce you to these characters, give you a good enough understanding of their personalities, dive just enough into their histories and their relationship with each other, and even have time for them to have conflict resolution, character development, and end with, you know, such beautiful, you know, resolution. And here's the thing, if an anime in 20 minutes with two characters you pretty much don't know about can do that, why can't a 2 to 3 hour movie achieve the same thing? That's a lot of time. And people talk about Thanos being a complex villain. I'm like, it's not complex.
Go.
My homeworld died. Oh, my homeworld. You know, it doesn't make
Thanos
sense.
is complex to you, then you're a monk.
I'm gonna have to agree with that one. The meat within the Hmong sandwich. Alright. Now, we're kind of winding down to the end of this. We're trying to throw out some final says about this genius of Kishimoto with Naruto.
I mean, I could go on for, you know, an hour probably just talking about the genius.
Oh, okay. I'd like to throw something in.
Okay, one thing I want to say is that Kishimoto understands how you can have such, you know, real serious drama, stakes, emotion, and he knows how and when to use comedic timing among this, which is something that Thor Ragnarok had no fucking clue how to do.
Well, I think any kind of really mature show, and you do see this in some Western shows. I think even shows like Breaking Bad showcase times. There are times for comedy, and there are times for drama. There are times, and this is also very reflective of life, that there is highs and lows, and really knowing when is the right moment to, you know, interject with these things. And the one thing I'd like to add is one thing I really do notice about Naruto, and also a few animes that really inspires me, is that there's this really strong quest of wanting to get better. You know, so many characters, they always have this motivation of, I want to be the best, I want to get better. I mean, for fuck's sake, even Pokemon, in the opening theme song, it says, I want to be the very best, which is something that you find in so many new...
I am the best.
No, not I am the best, because there's so much new media that's saying, I am the best, I am perfect, I don't need to change.
I deserve
power, I deserve recognition. I'm like, no, so much of this, of like Naruto and several anime, they look at how I want to be.
With Naruto's Will of Fire. You remember the Will of Fire?
Oh, brother, it's not off the top of my head, brother.
But it's basically about striving, always striving to be the best through hard work and determination, not through entitlement, not through fucking gender politics.
Yeah, not through
identity politics.
Or whatever, right? You don't deserve anything. Everything that you should get in life should be earned, regardless of your background or where you come from, whether you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth or a dick in your mouth. You really should always strive to be better.
And that's why, in closing, that's my ninja way. Believe it!